What's up YouTube, DMLX here. With the release of Silver Lining as the last DLC chapter for the City That Never Sleeps story expansion, I thought I'd present you guys my overview of each chapter as one entity, breaking down which chapter had the better story, gameplay, and suits. So without further ado, let's get into it. When it comes down to which story had the better chapter, I gotta go with the heist. Now each story's chapter had its moments, but the heist for me was the more engaging, seeing that there was great chemistry between Spider-Man and Black Cat.
Been working out?
Oh. I mean, you know, a little.
So, you swinging solo now? Or back with your ex?
It's a lot of questions.
The mystery between Black Cat having a quote-unquote son and Spidey thinking that he is the father, but then later we could figure out it's all a lie just to get Spider-Man help out Black Cat to obtain Hammerhead's drive.
Lie is such an ugly word. I prefer misdirection.
You are not the father!
The side missions that deal with the original Black Cat, and the story providing interesting setups for what's to come in the DLC and the sequel. Turf War's story, on the other hand, takes a darker turn in terms of the overall tone, compared to the heist, Silver Lining, and the main story combined. Starting with Hammerhead brutally murdering cops with his massive cranium.
That's the problem with you new cops. No respect.
Seeing Captain Yuri Watanabe being pushed over the edge figuratively, which plants seeds for her to become the vigilante Wraith, and ultimately comes to fruition in Silver Lining. I really enjoyed this portrayal of Hammerhead, physically and verbally. I like the detail of the scars on his face, and I like how he represents your stereotypical Italian gangster living in New York, as well as Yuri Watanabe killing Hammerhead, which caught me by surprise. But the revival of Hammerhead, not so much. In Silver Lining, we get a fitting end to the City That Never Sleeps story arc, where Silver Sable is back in town hunting down Hammerhead for using her Sabler International supplies. In addition, Silver Lining does a great job at fleshing out Silver Sable as a character by providing a strong motive for acting the way she does, and leading a private army. The relationship between Spider-Man and Sable was surprisingly funny from time to time, mainly because of Silver Sable's lack of interest towards commonly friendly gestures.
I will call soon.
Yeah.
However, my biggest gripe towards Silver Lining is the decision to make Hammerhead basically a giant robot. These encounters with Hammerhead brought back flashbacks of the Wolverine movie, and not in a good way. Honestly, Hammerhead's role in Silver Lining should have went to Silvermane, who was also head of the Magia in the comics, who had his body replaced with cybernetic enhancements as well. It makes me wonder if Insomniac knew about the character at all, and maybe he was supposed to be a part of this DLC, or just decided to fuse both of the character's traits together. I mean, the title would have sold itself. Silver Lining, Silver Sable versus Silvermane.
Am I the only one that thought of this?
Ultimately, I just didn't find it believable that Hammerhead would give up his humanity to become this all-powerful mob boss, compared to Silvermane, who was portrayed as an old man, whose times were numbered, and made more sense for him to have a cybernetic form. But I digress. Also, I like how Black Cat made a cameo midway through Silver Lining by saving Spider-Man, but I would have loved for her to stick around during the final battle, and see her interaction with Silver Sable.
One more thing. His head? Not as strong as you think it is.
Overall, the gameplay for the City That Never Sleeps wasn't groundbreaking compared to the main story, but there were a few gameplay moments throughout each chapter that kept things fresh, whether it was chasing down Black Cat, fighting new enemy types that can be challenging when playing on Ultimate difficulty, or even the sequences with Silver Sable's hovercraft.
Sable, I just want to make it very clear. I'm trying to help you right now. Get off. Sure thing. As soon as I take out the rest of these trolls.
However, each chapter's side objectives were a bit repetitive when it came down to taking out gang hideouts
And the goddamn screwball challenges!
Thankfully, she gets locked up in Silver Lining, and hopefully she doesn't come back for the sequel. The boss fights were fun to play for the most part when it came down to going up against Hammerhead in Turf Wars, Silver Sable and Silver Lining, which probably should happen in the main story, and fighting Hammerhead again in his robotic form. Also, the subplot with Peter mentoring Miles in becoming a superhero is interesting to listen to, and had a satisfying conclusion at the end of Silver Lining, which gets me excited for the inevitable sequel.
Ready?
I think the web shooters are a little tight.
Get used to it. Just try to keep up.
When it comes down to the 6 additional suits, not including the web suit from Sam Raimi's trilogy, seeing that it was free DLC, I enjoyed wearing most of them, with my least favorite additions being Spider-Clan and Cyborg Spider-Man, even though that cybernetic arm does look pretty cool. However, I wish we got one new additional suit power for each DLC chapter, as well as 2 more original suits like the Resilient suit from the heist. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. And there you guys have it. Those are my thoughts on the City That Never Sleeps DLC. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about each chapter and which one was your favorite. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps me out. Subscribe for more content from me on Spider-Man and other games in general. I'm DMLX. I'll see you in the future.